Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn about equation of a straight line. There are two types of equations of a straight line: the slope-intercept form and the point slope form. In this video, you're going to learn about the slope-intercept form, the first one. So, what is a slope-intercept form? What does the word, let's break down the word and let's find it. Slope. What does a slope mean? The slope is the same thing as the gradient. What is a gradient? The gradient is the rate of change of something. So the rate of change. The rate of change. The rate of change. So the slope is equal to the gradient, and the gradient is equal to the rate of change. So what does this mean? How do we calculate it? What does this mean? So the gradient, we calculate the gradient as, we call gradient m. M is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or delta y over delta x. Delta is equal to the change in delta y over delta x, or change in the values of y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So let's see what an axis, or what are the form, what is a slope-intercept form? What is the formula for this? So the formula for this is y is equal to mx plus c. This is such an important equation. This is basic key form of a straight line. So let's break it down. What does m equal to? M is our gradient, and c is our y-intercept. What does this mean? What does this mean? Let's check it. So we have our graph here, and we have to see what is our gradient and what is our y-intercept. Well, from this graph, we can see that our y-intercept is here. This is equal to c. Our gradient is from 2 points and is the rate of change. This we can call y2 minus y1, and this we can call x2 minus x1, or delta y over delta x. So as you can see, our y-intercept is equal to c, and that's where it crosses our y-axis, and that's where it crosses the y-axis. And our gradient is the change of the y over the change of the x values and y values. So this is basically a key concept that we have to know off by heart. Y is equal to mx plus c. Just keep saying it into your head and it'll come to you. So our change in y values over our change of x values, and our y-intercept is equal to c. So let's check some equations. So we have our y is equal to mx plus c. What happens when this is negative and positive? So let's see it on a graph. So we can tell if our gradient is negative if it's like this. And we can tell our gradient is positive if it's going like this. Just imagine it like if it's going down and if it's going up. So this is our x-axis, y-axis, y-axis, x-axis. So this is a negative equation of a straight line, and this is our positive equation of a straight line. So the gradient of this would be minus m. x plus c. The equation would be minus mx plus c. This one would be y is equal to mx plus c, the one that we saw. So it's negative and a negative and a positive. So we can see the shape of our equation of a straight line when it's negative, and we can see our shape of when it's positive. So let's do some examples. So we have here an example. We have here what we need to know, what we need to see is let's form an equation of a straight line. Let's use our y is equal to mx plus c to find the equation of a straight line, to find this equation. Let's call this L1. So let's find C first. Let's find C first. C is our y-intercept. Where does it cross the y-axis? The y-axis, it crosses at -3. So we know definitely that C is equal to -3 because it crosses the y-axis at -3. Our gradient is m, and the formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's do it here. So we can call this our, let's try the 2 points here. So 6, 6 and 0 minus 3. Let's call these our points. So let's label them. So 6 here would be our x2 and y2. This would be our x1 and y1. So it doesn't matter which order you go into. You can change them to be this being ones and this being twos. It doesn't matter which order. You're always going to come up with the same answer. So let's use our equation, use our formula to find the gradient. So m is equal to 6 minus 3 over 6 minus 0. So this will give us 6 plus 3, which will give us 9 over 6. 9 over 6 can be simplified to 3 over 2. So our gradient is 3 over 2. So now we know that our c is equal to -3, our m is equal to 3 over 2. Now let's put them in the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is equal to y is equal to mx plus c. So our slope-intercept form would be y is equal to 3 over 2x plus -3, or y is equal to, simplifying it, y is equal to 3 over 2x minus 3. That is our equation of a straight line, and that is the equation of L1. Our next example is a kind of an exam question. What they will ask you to, without a graph, they would ask you to find an equation, find the slope-intercept form of this. So let's see. We have our, first of all, let's label x1s and x2s, y1s and y2s. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's find our m. Our m is equal to -8 -4 all over 3 minus -1. -8 -4 is equal to -12 over 3 minus -1, which will give us 4. -12 divided by 4 will give us -3. So our gradient is equal to -3. Gradient. Now, using our y-intercept, our slope-intercept form, we need to find the value of c. We don't know from these values because there's no 0 in the x the x values. There's no 0 here or no zeros there, so we don't know our y-intercept. So what do? We plug in one of these points into our equation. So our equation is equal to y is equal to minus 3x plus c. And we need to find c. We've got the variable c, but we've got the values of y and x. So what do? We just plug them in. So it would be 4 is equal to minus 3 minus 1 plus c. Now we have to simplify it and find c. So 4 is equal to 3 plus c. Our c is going to equal to 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So our c is equal to 1, and we've got our m. So we can put it in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to minus 3x plus 1. And that is our equation. So what did we learn today in this video? We've learned that the slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus c. We've learned how to know the shape of the shape and the angle and the sides of our straight line, whether it's positive or negative, and if the gradient is positive or negative, and how the gradient manipulates the shape of our straight line, the shape of our graph. And we've learned how to find the equation of a straight line passing through 2 points. We know how to graph and the different components of the slope-intercept form. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time.